if the Indiana Fever are using their first overall pick, they have to. They have to consider Hannah Stuelke. They have to. Like, I'm looking through the players that have been mocked to the Indiana Fever. They have to consider Stuelke because there are seamless fits and there are non-seamless fits. Garzone is terrible. Like, I'm still seeing Garzone mocked to Indiana. She is terrible. She was struggling again. Actually, in fairness, she has 14 points today against George Mason. They were almost losing to George Mason. Like, I'm looking at this, and right now, Maryland were almost like they're 6-0, but they're playing against not great teams, and they're struggling. They're struggling against some teams. Like George Mason, in fairness, they're 4-1 on the season. They lost to Temple. This is a close game. And Garzone at least started hitting something in this game. But she's got 12 points on 12 shots. She's got 12 points on 12 shots for a team who are only 9th in the country because they haven't played anybody. Like, Maryland aren't good. Like, she's not done great against Princeton. So far, they've played Bethune, Princeton, Towson, Georgetown, UMBC, and Loyola, Maryland. And she hasn't done anything. Whereas Hannah Stuelke, the last 2 games, you're watching her against Baylor, who, by the way, little Paige Bueckers was being mocked to the Indiana Fever. Little Paige Bueckers had 0 points against Stuelke in Iowa. There is no more seamless fit for the Indiana Fever than Hannah Stuelke. Because Hannah Stuelke is going to be able to run. She's going to be able to block shots at an okay rate. She's not the greatest scorer. She got swatted a couple of times. But again, let's look at the Americup. We have to look at Americup. So this was the USA roster. The USA roster. So when it really mattered, USA play Brazil in Americup final. This is basically the who's who of college basketball. So if you look at the box score and you look to see who are the best players for Brazil, it is Damiris Dantas and Camila Cardoso. Camila Cardoso is 19, Damiris Dantas is 35. They are the 2 best players. So the players that are being tasked to guard them are the bigs. So USA, in this final, in the game that matters most, this is who the bigs on this team were. Reagan Beers, Joyce Edwards played the 4. Hannah Stuelke. Where is she? Audie Crooks and Grace Van Sluten. Who were the team's first choice? You've got Audie Crooks, who everyone can't shut up about being this unbelievable player. Like being like the most dominant force in college ball. And this is when they're all on the same team. Audie Crooks plays 3 minutes. By the way, Reagan Beers is projected to go higher than Hannah Stuelke in the draft. Reagan Beers didn't get on in a game that mattered. And against bad teams, sure, Reagan Beers. It was Grace Van Sluten and it was Hannah Stuelke. It was Hannah Stuelke. Her and Grace Van Sluten came in and they were 2 of the most important players for that team. They were 2 of the most important players. Hannah Stuelke came in with 7 points, 7 boards, and a block on Camila Cardoso with 2 steals. In the game that mattered, Stuelke was the one who stepped up. This is for Team USA. Like, this is the who's who of college basketball. I don't understand why Hannah Stuelke, why? Because she isn't the biggest name in the world. Why she isn't being considered. This is a 6-person draft. When you go past 6, you draft for whoever, you draft for fit. You draft for fit. She's not going to be there by the Fever 2nd round pick. She's just not going to be there in the 20s because teams aren't dumbasses. She's a much better player than Michaela Timpson. Sorry, KK. Stuelke's much better. She's much more polished. She can shoot the midi a little bit. Cannot shoot the 3-ball yet. Hits big shots. It's not even that at times that she's makes a lot of shots, but she hits them when it matters. She is a clutch player. She does tend to be a clutch player. Like, it is one of those things where she is just so underrated. And she's played with Caitlin. She has Caitlin in her ear telling her how to be a better player, what she's going to have to do to become a better pro. All of that. She's somebody that being put beside Caitlin Clark could absolutely excel in a limited role. And she could do what KK, whatever we're talking about KK, she could do almost what KK is doing, except not have the lapses in concentration, the lapses in feel that we're seeing right now. I'm telling you, it is one of those things where I'm looking at more and more things. I'm looking at more and more of the of mock drafts, and especially with the draft lottery being today. And I'm seeing more and more of like Garzone. Again, little Paige Bugs. Look, if Janiah Barker's there, I understand taking Janiah Barker. I understand taking Janiah Barker. Absolutely deserve to understand taking Janiah Barker. But like I'm seeing who was it that we saw mocked yesterday? Oh, sure, Ashlyn Jackson from Duke, who are terrible. Who do ESPN have mocked Fever? They have Okot from South Carolina. I don't think we need that. I don't think we need. Like, she's been good. She's been really good. I'd rather not have a rookie, have a young center. And again, maybe she's just going to suddenly become like this ridiculous player. And maybe she's a gem. Maybe she is. But this is one thing I will always say about somebody with the physical profile of Okot. If she's good enough, she won't fall to 10. Like, if she's actually good enough and not fool's gold, she won't fall to 10. And she falls to 10, teams probably deem her fool's gold. It means if they thought she was going to be good enough, she's going to go way up. She'll be way up. And in fairness, like, look, she's averaging more points for South Carolina than she did for Mississippi State last year. But still, South Carolina, they played USC and that was it. They played nobody else. Nobody else. And against USC, she had 6 points. So, yeah, I just don't know. Like, they played Duke, actually. They played Duke in 3 days, which would be a really interesting game. But other than that, I'm seeing so many players that I genuinely don't think are as good. I don't think are as good as Stuelke being mocked to the Fever. And especially when what the Fever need is a Hannah Stuelke. That is the type of player they need. It's the type of team they the type of player they need to have in their team, the type of team they want to be, or what we think the team want to be. What we think the team want to be. If the team wants to be this slow down back to the basket, ISO ball team like we saw in the playoffs, this motion offense and everyone needs to touch the ball, forget about it. Also trade Caitlin Clark. If you want to be a run and gun, 7 seconds or less, sprint the floor, exciting basketball team, Stuelke's perfect. And I don't care about Stuelke's ranking. I don't care if it's we saw how much of a fuck up it was in the NBA when the New Orleans Pelicans were like, we want Derek Queen, but we can't justify using the 7th pick on him. So we're going to go and trade 2 what are going to be top 5 picks in this year's draft. We're going to trade 2 top 5 picks for Derek Queen because, we couldn't justify taking him at 7. So instead of just taking him at 7, they now lost 2 top 5 picks from this year's draft. That's the thing. If you're saying, we can't justify taking Stuelke at 10, well, she's not going to be there the next time you're on the board. So if you want to trade down into early in the second round to get Hannah Stuelke, be my guest. If you want to trade, if there's a team with 2 second rounders and you want to trade for like the 16th pick in the draft and an additional second rounder, or 16th pick in the draft and a player, and you want to trade your 10th pick to go down 5-6 spots in the draft and take Stuelke, then be my guest. But like, if you are going to take a name because they're a name, and Garzone's the biggest example, she's the most mocked person to the Fever. She's not it. She is like a worse version of Katie Lou Simonson. And then you've got a modern basketball power forward who can pass a little bit, who does a bit of everything, who can switchable, who can guard everything. Like, I think the reason why she's not mocked in the top 10 is because there are prehistoric evaluators in women's basketball, hence why Lauren Betts, unpopular opinion, she's better than Lauren Betts. she's better than Lauren Betts. I know it's a really unpopular opinion, but she's better than Lauren Betts. She projects to be, in my opinion, she projects to be a more impactful pro than Lauren Betts, aka Tiara McCowan 2.0. So anyway, yeah, that's the video. I'll see you guys.